Good evening, everyone. If you are watching after the fact, then please do feel free to skip ahead to qualifying as we get the rest of the drivers into the lobby and the stream all set up and shared around so that you can all watch it. It's round 6 of APPF1 Tier 2, and tonight we go to Interlagos. Who are we waiting for?
Just Crozer.
Just Crozer.
But his console is having major issues.
Oh dear. Well, the dangers of sim racing striking down one of our drivers. Unfortunate.
Indeed.
So, hello everybody, currently watching. 3 people in the stream so far. 2 of you have not liked the stream. Those 2 people know exactly who you are. I see you. You can't hide from me. I don't know exactly who you are, but if you haven't liked the stream, get on it. I'm at 130 subscribers now as well. I hadn't noticed that's crept up. I feel like I've lost a couple though, to be honest. So, well, those people don't know what they're missing, clearly. Yes. If you are here, hello and welcome. I think we're just waiting. I think we're about to get going. Oh, yes we are. Look at that. The timer is ticking down. Although I still want to have a look at... Let's have a look. Let's see what analytics... Oh yeah, look, I lost one. Oh, I lost one on the 20th. Somebody unsubscribed on the Saturday. That's a sad turn of events. That one person, whoever you are. Sad to see you go. But good evening, everyone, and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2 for tonight's dose of racing action. I'm SUMO, your commentator this evening, and I'm joined, as always, by my amazing co-commentator, Ghost. How you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. Been a busy week, and good way to, well, I suppose not end it off. It's only Tuesday. It feels like the end of the week already, but no, it's a good way to spend a Tuesday night. It's a Tier 2 race around this beautiful circuit.
Yeah, I mean, busy week it doesn't really scratch the surface for me. I mean, well, it's midweek for me, I suppose, if you work in the industry like I do. As my week starts on a Friday, weirdly enough. But anyway, less about my personal life and let's get on with some racing, shall we? It's round 6 of the championship and we go to a legendary circuit that I don't think any fan or driver has a bad word about. The Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace is Formula One's oh wow, this has really gone weird on the writing. I don't know where this has gone. I can't read it. It's Formula One's one trip to the continent of South America, and it's a fantastic racetrack. Better known as Interlagos, the circuit hosts 15 corners, 10 to the right and 5 to the left. Drivers will race down the Senna S's and into Curva del Sol, racing their way down the Reta Reposta. Then Sector 2 is a twisty and technical sector, with Sector 3 made up of just one proper corner, Junsao. This track is a phenomenal drive, and I've always loved it in my time as a fan of Formula 1. Any thoughts, Ghost?
Yeah, it's, I mean, like you say, it's absolutely iconic track. Well, you said you won't find many people who have a bad word to say about it. I mean, Rick probably has a few bad words to say about this track, but, you know. No, it's a fantastic track. One of the all-time greats. Many a championship finale, many an incredible race, and hopefully, even with the small grid, we can have an incredible race today as well.
Yes, I'm sure we will. And while the qualifying gets underway, as we watch the Red Bull of LB make his way out onto the circuit for the first time, let us run you through the current standings of the championship after last week's trip to Abu Dhabi. Right, Daphne Hillison is on 98 points, still leading the way as Lawrence takes P2 from his teammate LP, with 1 point splitting the two of them, 86 and 85 points to the pair, respectively. Bergen is in P4 with 66 points, and Bobsu rounding off the top 5, 63 points for the Ferrari driver. Tier on 59, then there's that's a little Maniac Mango on 51, then JB on 43, 38 for... No, JBS Steve 43, J-Man 38. Gosh, I definitely can't read this evening. Krauser 36, Mahiti 30, 23 for Mannyman, Fido Man 15, 13 for Judith. And then there's Palang, Womax, Matthias, Sox, Jackstar, and Pommy Alex. So it looks like there's still a bit of a fight going on in the Constructors' Championship. There's plenty of racing rounds left to go. And, well, there it's, I think, still some stewarding decisions to be ironed out after last week, so we're waiting for those results to come in. Then we go to the constructors. Then it's just as close as the Drivers' Championship. 171 points for Red Bull, with Ferrari on 161. Then there's a close fight between Williams and AlphaTauri, 79 and 77 points between them, with McLaren getting themselves up in the fray as well, 74 points. Mercedes aren't too far off of that either, on 69, with Aston Martin on 68. And then you've got Alpine, Haas and Alfa Romeo lamenting at the back on 28, 23 and 19 points respectively. So we've got quite the championship burning up, Ghost. This is the fourth round of four final. Well, this is the fourth to last round, I suppose. 6, 7, 8, 9. Unfortunately missing one. We would have been at the... Well, I guess we're still at the halfway point, but this would have been the start of the second... Well, this is the start of the second and last half of the season, Ghost. But we've had quite a championship so far.
Yeah, we certainly have. The tensions are rising, so to speak, especially between Red Bull and Ferrari, but particularly Darth Nihilus and Red Bull. Robsu has largely stayed out of the feud, but JBS Steve goes with a 1 minute 9.0. That is not a bad opening lap at all from JB.
Darth's off the circuit there. He's had a bit of a spin in Sector 2.
That's a struggle for him. LB had a spin just one corner later than that on his attempt as well. Lawrence, I believe, backed out of his lap, so keep an eye on him for the next attempt. So JB, the only one to set a representative lap time so far. Both Red Bulls not with a representative lap time. Bergen's invalidated, so we're watching Tier, the only man on a representative lap at the moment.
Yeah, it seems a lot of drivers are struggling with some track limits. I mean, there are some areas of the track where the car just wants to run out wide, and well, I think turn 7 and 8 there. There are a couple of tricky little corners. Is it 7 and 8? You've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Jinshao's 13. No, it's not. Jinshao's 12. And it's 13, 14, 15 for the last few corners. But Tier with a 1 minute 9.8 to stop my rambling on about the track corner numbers. And so Red Bull, well, they've got some work to do. They've already wasted their early laps, so they're going to go in and get some new tyres on. Mango's on a lap as well. What about Bergen? Bergen, I think he might be on a lap, so we'll watch along with the AlphaTauri. Then it's been a bit of an outlier in the... Well, not an outlier, but it's been sort of leading the midfield, I suppose, while Red Bull and Ferrari fight it out.
Yeah, indeed. He's been incredibly consistent, as LB does an 8.6 to start off with. He was a tenth and a half down in Sector 2. Those are 2-lap-old softs, so more pace to be found from the Red Bull driver. Lawrence invalidated at the last corner, so we still don't have an idea of his pace around here quite yet. Although he did win the Brazilian Grand Prix last season in Tier 2. So, yeah, no slouch around this track, Lawrence. But for now, LB on pole. But yeah, Bergen coming across the line now to end a lap. Yeah, but quite a way off at 10.4. But yeah, he's just been consistent. He's turned up every week, which is a start. He's finished every race, I believe, which is even better. And whenever anything goes wrong, he picks up the pieces, and that's why he's sitting in P4 in the championship.
Yeah, he certainly does. And you know, it's the old adage, really, of the tortoise and the hare, isn't it? You know, I mean, I wouldn't say slow, but certainly steady. But Muhiti going into the 1 minute 8.5s as he goes on provisional pole position at this stage of qualifying. Here comes Maniac Mango. He's making his way down Jinsao now through that final corner where Timo Glock was going slowly all that famously ago in 2008. And round the final couple of kinks on this straight comes Maniac Mango in his McLaren. Can he set a Lewis Hamilton-esque lap in his McLaren at 1 minute 9.3? Not really the lap he's looking for to get into the top two positions, but it's certainly a representative time for him. Darth is back out on circuit as well. Can he do anything in his Ferrari?
Yeah, indeed. Championship leader looking to take another pole position. Muhiti, that's an excellent attempt from Muhiti. Obviously LB did his lap on 2-lap-old soft, so he's got some more in the tank, but that's a great effort from Muhiti. 8.5 is no slouch at all. But here comes Darth as a Red Bull getting out of his way there. Robsu, by the way, has a quali ban, so he will not be setting a lap, so he'll start from 9th, no matter what. As Darth coming around the last few corners. That was a bit wide there through turn, I think that's 9. And then down towards the last actual corner on the track. And DRS open, and it's just keep to the inside, press the throttle pedal, and pray that you're fast enough.
Yeah, that didn't look as put together or as aggressive as you'd like out there, but let's see where it puts him. It's looking fairly quick anyway. It's a 1 minute 8.6, which sees him up into P2. Don't ignore what it said on the right. It said it kept him in P9 for a little while, but it's just a few hundredths of a second ahead of LB at the moment. Of course, Lawrence is still yet to set a lap, and I think he's doing it now. Yes, he is. He's out on the track, making his way down to turn number 4 here, dipping into 4th gear at the moment, and down the hill through 5 now, and then this starts off sector 2, then up towards 6 and 7 here. It's a quick lift off the throttle, a couple shifts down, and really carrying as much speed, and then quickly down the gears and into this next corner, then round this cambered corner of turn, I want to say 8 or 9, then here comes 10 as well, and this is quite a sharp little corner, pretty much a hairpin going around, and then flat through here if you're brave enough, lifting off a little bit is Lawrence, and then into Jun Sao, the final corner, going purple in the middle sector, but I'm not sure how quick that's going to be. We'll see as he comes through now. It's flat all the way to the line. The DRS line is here, opens it up, gives it that little bit of extra speed and a little bit less drag on the car as he comes down to the line. It's a 1 minute 8.546. And it's 0.04 of a second slower than Muhiti at the moment, so we're going to have a close qualifying here, folks.
We absolutely are. It's a shame Robsu's got a ban, because I'm sure he would have been right up there as well, but 5 drivers within 1.5 tenths, that is incredible. Bergen up to P6, JB improves as well to P3, he's only 0.5 tenth down on Muhiti, just behind Lawrence by 1/100th of a second. And then Darth another 0.5 tenth behind, LB less than 0.5 tenth behind that. This is so close.
Yeah, it is. It's good, and it's only going to get closer. We've still got plenty of time left. I think we're about 7 minutes, even more time than I initially thought. What's LB up to? He's about to start a lap, so we'll keep an eye on the other Red Bull. Hello, Ash in the chat. It's nice to see you again. Boogity saying. Anyone in the live chat, hello, right now, feel free to say hello. We don't bite here. You know. I mean, I don't know about Ghost, but I certainly don't. But improving his LB 0.06 of a second faster, and well, by the looks of things, Ghost, that might be what decides your position on the grid at the moment. Those very fine margins.
Absolutely. Well, Darted
validated.
Oh dear, oh dear. There's definitely more to come from LB in terms of pace, but it's whether he can find the lap is the question. On Friday, Darth did a 8.7, so he's already beaten that. It's just how much further can the Ferrari driver go. We've also got JB did a 9.0, so massive improvement for him from Friday. Who else did a lap on Friday? Mr. J-Man's not here. Lawrence, but he was with the racing line on Friday, I believe. But if he wasn't with the racing line, then he did an 8.2. But yeah, we'll see if he can match that. LB coming up to the line. He's going to go on 2-lap-old softs again for another attempt.
Alright, we'll keep an eye on LB. Muhiti's making his way out. Could he go faster than his current form at the moment? We'll wait and see what the Aston Martin can do. But I was just thinking, Ghost, it's you know, sometimes the track really does play a big role in. I don't see LB finishing this lap. He's not got enough ERS to really pull it off. But and he spins at turn 4 for good measure. Into the wall he goes. So yes, it's definitely not making his way around. But no, I think the track does play a huge part into how a driver's weekend or how a driver's evening is going to go. I think, you know, you get some drivers who are good at most tracks. You know, I mean, Darth and Lawrence and LB and Robsu, they're all sort of your top drivers. They're all relatively good around every track. But I think there's just some tracks where, you know, where a driver just feels more at home and feels more comfortable. I mean, you see it in real life Formula One. I mean, look at Fernando Alonso last year in Canada. You look at Lando Norris every time we go to Imola at the moment, who just somehow manages to put it on the podium every time he's there recently. It's just, you know, the tracks sometimes really do play to a lot of the driver's strengths. And I think, you know, you look at Lawrence, for example, who looks fairly strong here as Muhitti's invalidated. He'll have time to save some battery and go around, but it looks like Muhitti's got the same thing, Ghost.
Yeah, that was turn 2. Just tried to cut a little bit too much out of the corner. But yeah, he's having a good time out there at the moment. Still provisional pole, and lots of people struggling to set their best lap time, which I find happens a lot around here, Sumo. I don't know about you, but it always seems like drivers come away from Brazil qualifying disappointed unless they got on pole, because it always feels like you can get that little bit more out of this track. It always feels like you messed up a corner there, missed an apex here. So yeah, but at the moment, Muhitti still on top. See if anyone can find that lap time to unseat him.
I don't know what Tier's up to. Is he going out intentionally without using ERS or not? Because this would be his second out lap, I think, on that set of tyres. So I don't understand why he's... maybe he's just forgot to turn his ERS on. But Muhitti making his way down. But yeah, I see what you mean. It is a circuit. Oh, there goes Muhitti into the wall. That is a shame.
Oh, dear.
He spun at turn 2. But it is a circuit that you do really think there's a lot more to get out of it. And, you know, you can attack corners at different ways and just go a little bit faster and really sort of get the grip down. And, you know, I think a lap is very easily ruined. I mean, the S's... They're quite difficult actually to get through without invalidating a lap sometimes. The track limits at turn 2 are just very hit or miss sometimes, so it's easy for the drivers to invalidate, and there's too many corners like that. Yeah,
talking of which, Tier's just done that at turn 2 as well. Exactly the same mistake as Muhitti made. But yeah, exactly. There's a lot of corners where you can just take it a tiny bit too far and your lap's gone. Turn 2 is absolutely one of those. Let's see if Darth can nail turn 2 this time. He gets it a little bit better than he got last time. There's DRS open. Let's see what the delta is across the Sector 1 line now. It's 2/10 up, Sumo. So this could be an incredible lap from Darth to put him on pole.
JB.
Talking of incredible laps, JB an 8.3. He is the new provisional pole sitter. And what a story that would be if he can take pole today. But Darth is ready and waiting, nearly invalidates there at turn number 6. So, or turn 7, I think, as he comes around the rest of Sector 2. I'm really interested to see what this is at the sector line as he misses the apex of 9 again.
Oh, yeah, that looked very wide through there. That's going to slow him down, his momentum through there. He's 2/10 up, though. This could see him into the 1 minute 8.4s, but let's see what his Sector 3 time is in comparison. Will he be improving all the way down this last part, all the way down to the line? He's got the target to beat. Can he get ahead of it? At the moment, it's looking good. It's a 1 minute 8.289, so he does go on pole position provisionally. And has anybody got an answer for that one out on the circuit? Lawrence is out there now. He's just starting a lap, so let's see what the Red Bull can do. LB, I think, is on an out lap as well, so watch out for him. And can Muhitti still do anything? He's a 10th up, Ghost.
Yeah, he is over 1.5 tenths, in fact, through Sector 1, so Muhitti needs to nail the rest of this lap. He could find himself on pole. JB will be gutted with that, but obviously Darth just a little bit too fast on that final straight. Maybe a bit lower wings than the Williams driver, but here comes Muhitti. He's lost time. He's only half a tenth up now as he comes around the final actual corner. Maniac Man goes back in the session, too late to set another lap, unfortunately, so he'll start at the back, and Muhitti is backed out. Clearly messed up that last corner, so he will not be challenging for pole. What about Lawrence? He was 1.5 tenths up through Sector 1, so he's coming around Sector 2 now. We've got Tiers binned it at turn 2. We've got Bergen letting Lawrence through Sector 2. Here he comes to the Sector 2 line. What's it going to be? 2 tenths up. Can Lawrence do this? He needs a good final corner. That looked a bit wide though, so he might have lost his chance at pole, but can he at least get on the front row? He's still got to be very close to Darth in order to beat JB. What can he do? Across the line now for Lawrence. It's an 8.4 and it's only enough for third. What about LB though?
LB, we'll see what he can do. He's down on his previous at the moment, but only by 400s. Can he find some time in the middle sector? I wonder. Let's see as he makes his way through. It's a very twisty technical part of the track, and you've really got to try and maximise your momentum coming through a lot of these corners, and this one's an important one to get right. Can LB hit the apex? He does, by the looks of it. Doesn't run as wide, carries as much speed as he can, and flat through this corner here and up towards Jun Sao. Now he's 3/10 up, Ghost. This is looking good from LB. Can the Red Bull snatch away pole position from Darth? All he's got to do is keep up that speed and keep this lap quick as he makes his way down towards the line. The Red Bull coming down now. He's one more corner to navigate and all the way up to the line. Can LB do it? Yes. It's a 1 minute 8.0. He's on pole position, Ghost, and I think that's it. That's your qualifying over.
Bergen is on a lap. Bergen is on a lap. He's the last one. I wonder if he can unseat Muhisi for fifth. It would have to be quite a run for him to do it, but he got across the line with about 5 seconds to go, and he's 2/10 up. So if he got this last corner completely wrong on his previous attempt, he could be enough to get himself into fifth. But let's see what the AlphaTauri can do. LB, I think, is secure on pole, but here comes Bergen to the line. It's not bad. It's an 8.8. Which is not quite enough to unseat Muhiti, but it wasn't too far away.
No, not at all, and it was a good try from Bergen, but that's your qualifying for Tier 2 this evening, and well, it's LB on pole position, right where he needs to be to help his teammate out, as Darth Nihilus finds himself on the front row just behind the Red Bull. JBS Steve P3 in there, a great lap from the Williams, racing for himself and for Krauser, who's sadly still not here in the race. And we got Lawrence in P4. He'd probably be expecting a bit better than that. Good showing from Muhiti to round off your top 5. Then we've got Bergen and Maniac Mango, then Tier and Robsu, who didn't set a lap after serving his qualifying ban. So we'll see what the Ferrari can do from the back of the grid.
Yeah, keep an eye on the Finnish driver. He's got a point to prove today. It was a harsh quali ban. It was AI penalty plus no footage penalty, which gave him 4 penalty points. But look at that weather, Sumo.
Oh dear, it's raining, isn't it? Oh,
it's
no.
Heavy rain. Oh, well then, we have a race on our hands.
We do, and one person who will be gutted to see the rain is Darth Nihilus. He's already told us that he does not enjoy wet weather races, and with the sky looking the way it is, and with how the rain's coming down, I don't see this rain clearing up. I think we got 36 laps here, I think it is, for this Grand Prix, so it's going to be a long race of attrition, and, well, who's going to come out on top? We're yet to find out. We've got 25 seconds until we go on the grid for the formation lap. And, well, any predictions, Ghost?
Well, Darth, like you say, he's a self-confessed not great in the wet. So we'll see what he can do. Robsu, I'm very interested to watch. Lawrence as well, see what he can do from 4th. But wet conditions, always harder when you don't have the racing line, so you've got to keep an eye on him as well. But yeah, it's looking like a really interesting race, this one. LB's favourite to win, it's got to be.
Yeah, and well, Brazil always throwing in some drama, which we do like to see. I'd run you through the strategy, but it's all fairly easy, as Robsu's already disqualified. I think he must have had a coming together with Tier. On the very early part of the formation lap. That's not good. But yes, wet compound tyres all around there. Drivers will be swimming out there, and well, LB's getting a little bit squirrely on the throttle there. But 6 people in the stream so far. Hello everybody. If you are just joining, we've just had a great qualifying session. LB's put it on pole position. Darth Nihilus lines up alongside him. And we've got a full wet race here at Interlagos. It's going to be one to remember, I think. I don't know how many wet races we've had this season. I distinctly remember, Ghost, was it last season or the season before, where the first 3 rounds were wet races.
Yeah, I think that might have been last season.
Yeah.
It seemed like every race was going to be wet. So yeah, it's been a
We went to
while.
the Middle East that it stopped.
Yeah, yeah. I think the last time it rained was Monza qualifying, if I'm not mistaken, in Tier 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while, and drivers have got to get used to it. And I hear in the Discord chat, LB's setup is not for wet conditions. So I mean, anything could happen here, Sumo. I mean, we could have JB winning the race. We could have Bergen winning the race. We could have Tier winning the race. I mean, anything is possible in these sorts of conditions when it was a dry qualifying. Yeah, do not count anyone out. I mean, the last few races we've had Red Bull and Ferrari top 4. I'd be surprised if that's the case again today.
Yeah, certainly so. And I hope all the drivers can see their way across the line. We've only got 9 of them. It is a shame. We've had some better turnouts over our time at Tier 2, but today's not one of those occasions. But I think it's maybe just, the time of year, summer, and, I think we're getting close to the new game now. It's only a few weeks away, so I think it's understandable. But hopefully we get some better numbers for the last 3 rounds. But we're focusing on round number 6 now, and we're lining up on the grid. Hopefully we have the least glitch start as possible. But this is a Codemasters game, so it's wishful thinking at the best of times. They'll be lining up to go to the inside already, and we're going to have another glitch start. It's almost inevitable at this point. We're waiting and waiting and waiting for the drivers to be released from their boxes. And away we go. Well, that's a great start from LB. He's already gone. And he flew off the line. And he's covering off Darth. But Darth's got a better second phase at the moment. At the minute. And he looks like he's going on the attack. Looks to the inside. Lawrence is going on the attack as well. He's already jumped here. So he's ahead. I think JB's had it. Oh, and there's a big coming together. That's Darth. He's around. Lawrence was involved in that as well. And JB and Maniac Mango, they've gone into the wall.
Oh no, that's
safety
a disaster for them. A safety car? No, it's virtual safety car. But yeah, just Lawrence and Darth making a tiny bit of contact through turn 2, but it was enough. But what a start from Tier, Sumo! Up 6 positions, he was up 4 before turn 1, and then make the most out of the contact and the carnage between Darth and Lawrence at turn 2. I wonder what happened to Maniac and JB. JB will be absolutely devastated after his amazing quali. But Tier up 6, Muhiti up 2, Robsu up 5 from his quali ban. I mean, Finland should have won Eurovision, but they could win this race to make up for it.
Yeah,
as Darth spins, has he? Ooh. No, I think it was just a safety car glitch, maybe.
Safety car glitch, perhaps. Yes, but well, we give Tier a hard time here in the comms box. He tends to be quite partial to a pirouette or 2 out on the circuit, but when the slippery stuff is on the circuit, when those wet weather tyres are bolted to the cars, this man comes alive and really does love it out in these tricky conditions. The master of the wet weather, and if I carry on bigging him up, I'm sure he'll end up in the barrier in a lap or 2, so I'll stop right now. 100%. But Muhiti's up into P3 at the moment as well. Darth up a place, but that's because Mango's had to go into the pits as well as JB. I'm surprised no one got a penalty, but I think they just sort of came together. Lap 1 drama, of course, but they're going to be gutted. Oh, it's a full safety car now, Ghost, actually, so everyone's going to be bunched back up again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it must have upgraded. So JB and Maniac will be happy about that one. But yeah, Darth and Lawrence both dropping down the field after their contact. I mean, I couldn't even say whose fault it was. I was riding on board with Tier, so I could barely see what happened. Yeah, drama at the start, but it's LB who's leading, and well. I mean, we said at the start of the season that this championship would likely be a battle between Lawrence and Darth, but LB's really snuck into this battle, and even more than snuck in, he's definitely in this championship battle. And if Lawrence and Darth both finish badly today, and LB manages to secure the win, then I mean, he'll be leading the title by quite a distance.
Yeah, I mean, LB, don't forget, he has got a Tier 2 championship under his belt. This man knows how to win a championship out there, and Well, we may talk to him in interviews, and he may say that he's not really too bothered about the Drivers' Championship, but in all reality, I don't believe him. Racing drivers, you know, if they've got a chance to win, they're going to go for it. You know, they're selfish creatures by nature, so it's, you know, I don't think LB will scoff at the opportunity to win a second Tier 2 championship. I don't think we've got a two-time Tier 2 champion, do we?
We don't. No.
We don't.
No. Tinoz, well, Harass won Season 1 and then never came back.
Yeah.
Season 2, I think it was that Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And then he didn't come back after that either. Season 3, we had Tinoz, and then he went up to Tier 1, and he's been thriving in Tier 1 ever since. And then Season 4 was LB. Season 5 was... No, I've missed one. But, you know, you get the picture.
I mean, it's in the thing, right? We've got previous champions somewhere, right?
We do.
Somewhere? Where's that
previous
channel?
standings as well. Oh yeah, Pommy Alex, of course. How could I forget Pommy Alex
How could you
winning
forget?
the title? But yeah,
Gosh.
that's so only one-time Tier 2 winners. So we could have our first two-time Tier 2 champion this season. Lawrence, I think, is realistically the only one who could disrupt that.
Yes, he certainly could. And well, I mean, Darth could easily become a two-time Tier 2 champion as well, but we'll wait and see. As well, we've got some racing to do now, guys. The flags are green. The safety car has turned off the lights and is heading toward the pit lane, leaving LB to lead the train around and get this race underway. When does he go? Does he go early? Does he go late? What he's got to do is try and catch out the drivers behind him. Tier's a master in the wet weather. Can he jump the Red Bull? Can Muhiti get himself involved? How about Robsu, the flying Finn, who's already up into P4 from the back of the grid? It's anyone's game on this restart. We're on lap number 3, about to start number 4. LB is weaving, warming up those tyres, and he's gone. There he goes. He has got this race underway once again, and it looks like Muhiti's got the jump on Tier, and he might have a little go onto the inside. But here comes Robsu going down the inside on the Aston Martin, and it looks like the move's done. And Lawrence nearly into the back of the Aston Martin at the moment. That was very close, and he's had a bit of contact with Bergen in the AlphaTauri. Oh, he's off the circuit.
On the curb, got spun on the curb by Bergen, who just pushed him wide, but I think Bergen just understeered, and Darth said thank you very much. He could say the same to Bergen. Now down the inside of turn 4, Bergen brakes late, gets the car stopped. No, he doesn't. He's wide, and Darth down the inside. He's up to P5, and Bergen spins, and Maniac couldn't avoid him. No chance for the McLaren to react to that. Bergen into the wall, Maniac into the wall. They've both got they've both got front wing damage. No safety car this time, though. We're carrying on.
Yeah, we are, and that's a shame for Mango. He already got caught up in one incident, and now he's been caught up in another one, but that one was really out of his control. At that point, Lawrence has got some work to do now to make up some places. He'll have to try and get past JB and start chasing after Darth, who, well, I think he scared Bergen really into going around, and here comes Tier nearly bidding it, and round the outside goes Robson, an opportunistic move, but one that was done, and I must say that Ferrari's looking very set up for this wet race.
It certainly is. He didn't have to worry about qualifying, of course, with the ban, and it could have worked in his favour here, Sumo, but here comes Tier. Look at that straight line speed on the Mercedes. It's not quite enough, though, to make a challenge into turn 1, and now Robsu, 1.5 seconds. He's going to try and chase after LB, and what a start he's made to this race as Maniac comes into the pits. Bergen somehow has no damage and stays out, but Maniac Mango, it's such a shame for him. Yeah,
it really is. He's just wrong place, wrong time. Really, it's just a shame. There's nothing you can do when that happens. But yeah, Lawrence looks like he's struggling out there in the rain, Ghost, and I think not having any line is really affecting the Red Bull at the moment. Darth is putting some pressure on Muhiti as he's just gone round. Oh no, Muhiti.
Oh, he's going to have to crawl back onto the circuit. Does so safely, but he'll be gutted with that. Down to P7, and another free position for Darth Nihilus, who's recovering decently after that contact at turn 2. But he's got to be careful in these wet conditions. He nearly binned it just then at turn 10. So, I mean, anything can happen to anyone in these sorts of conditions. I do wonder if it will dry up again, but look at Robsu right behind LB.
He is so close. That Ferrari is looking so much better under these wet conditions, and Robsu's really got some confidence out there. He's the fastest man on the circuit, but those are being traded as JB now looking very quick, maybe looking to capitalise on some speed that he found during qualifying, and maybe he's got a better setup. There's a bit of a battle going on here between Darth and Tyr. Darth has taken the place from the Mercedes into turn 1, it seems, and now JB is going to look to get involved in the action as well. They're going to go side by side into turn 4, surely not between the two of them. Here comes JB's got the inside. Tyr's going to try and go the long way around and keep the place at the moment. It's great racing between the two of them. They're going to emerge side by side, and they know Tyr keeps the position at the moment, but Lawrence is now wanting to get a piece of this action as well, and the three of them are heading up the hill through 6 and 7 and through sector 2 at the moment. It's three cars very close together. Robsu still close to the back of LB, a little bit further ahead at the moment, and well, we may have a DRS-less race, but we're getting action, action, action.
Lovely racing between these three at the moment. Lawrence just backing off there. Hopefully Muhiti can have a chance to catch up. Bergen had a spin earlier on in the lap, I think at turn 2. He is not enjoying these conditions at all. Robsu, again, right behind LB, but I think setting up his car for the wet may mean that his straight line speed is a bit lacking. So he doesn't seem to catch LB on this long straight as Bergen bins it again in sector 2.
Oh dear, Bergen not having the best times. And Tyr's round, no. Oh, and he's got wing damage.
That's a pit stop for the Mercedes. Disaster. Muhiti in as well. He must have damage too.
Virtual.
It's all happening. Oh, another virtual.
Virtual. What have I done? I knew I'd curse him, Ghost. The minute I started talking about him. It happens every time. Oh, Muhiti's going on inters.
Oh, really?
He is. He's put the inters on. So's Tyr.
Oh, okay. Opportunistic here. They'll say they crashed on purpose, so they have an excuse to pit for the inters. But it's, well, we'll see if they're right. It does seem still pretty heavy, the rain. It seems very damp on track still, but who knows? It might dry up into the dry conditions later on. So who knows? But at the moment, LB still leading from Robsu, and Darth Nihilus only 1.5 seconds back, which, I mean, it's just been 3 positions, basically, for Darth. I mean, he made one overtake at turn 4, but other than that, it's just been taking advantage of spins and crashes, but he hasn't spun or crashed himself, so fair play to him. And he's actually gained about a second under that VSC on the top 2. So clearly LB just a bit off the delta as Darth nearly bins it on that straight.
Very easy to do. It's so hard to get the power down, and actually we're back under green conditions, and here comes Robsu. He's looking poised for an attack here, but he's still not got that straight line speed. Tries to go around the outside. There was very little space for that move, and well, just takes the wider line instead to try and get a better run through the center S's as we go onto the Retro Aposta now. And it's, yeah, it still looks like the same. It looks like LB's got the straight line speed over Robsu, who just really doesn't have much to attack with. So LB, as long as he can keep it on the circuit, has got this. And actually, goes JB is a little bit of an outlier in this fight. He's sitting just about outside of a second. But if anything happens to these top 3, he's going to be right there to pick up the pieces.
Absolutely right.
Lawrence is on inters.
He is, yeah, he's pitted for the inters, and he's out just ahead of Muhiti. That's crucial for him. I'm just going to ride on board with them while you cover the top drivers, Sumo, and just see how they're doing for a lap.
Yeah, we'll see what the thing is. I'd imagine, if anything, the conditions are roughly equal between the 2 sets of tyres at the moment. I do love this shot where you can see that other part of the track there as you go down towards Junsao, and Bergen retired, pit lane. So he's had enough of the slippery stuff. And well, Robson again on the attack, and he's got it as they come out of Junsao, but once the power's down, and LB's in.
LB's in for the inters. Bergen, I think that's rear wing damage for Bergen.
Darth's in too.
Yeah, Darth also in, so he's seen that the conditions are changing. I think they're going to come out well ahead of Lawrence, but the question is, what can they do against the others? Maniac Mango has had a spin as well, but Robsu and JB, the only ones to stay out on the wet. We'll have to see. They're surely going to be both in this lap. And, well, I wonder if they're going to be able to come out ahead.
Yeah, it seems the track is drying up that little bit then, and well, LB and Daft taking the initiative at the moment. Where will Robsu and JB come out? Will Robsu be ahead of his teammate? Will JB be in amongst of it as well? Who knows? What is better, the overcut or the undercut? We're about to find out if these two do come in. Robsu making his way down towards turn number 11 now, so we'll wait and see as he finishes off sector 2. Does he come in for the intermediate tyre?
Well, it might be cold tyres, but LB has not been gaining on the top two this lap, although he is kind of gaining now, although Lawrence gained, I think, some time with the undercut, so it's difficult to tell at the moment, Sumo. It might be just on that crossover, like you say.
Robsu, 5 seconds.
No! Penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is careless from Robsu, and that's going to have to be applied at the end unless there's another pit stop. Disaster for him. JB also in, but where's Robsu going to come out? Is it going to be behind or ahead of LB? It's going to be very close, and Darth's in the mix as well. Don't forget about Lawrence if anything happens. Robsu just coming out the pit lane now. I think it might be the overcut that's worked.
Oh, LB, get off that curb! He was so close to losing it, and I think he's going to lose a place. He is. Robsu's out well ahead of him.
Yeah, look at that, and JB's right behind Darth now. It's definitely better to stay out. They came in a bit prematurely, and Robsu, well, he's got a 5-second penalty, which he's going to be absolutely furious with himself about, because he had no need to do that. He's 3 seconds ahead.
Yeah, he played that strategy incredibly well. Looks like LB was really struggling with those tyres, and possibly the setup getting involved in that as well. And Darth having a little wiggle there. Maybe it was a move, or maybe it was him losing the car. It was hard to tell, but we got 4 cars fighting it out for the last 2 places on the podium. And, well, Robsu has got the advantage now. He's got the overcut. He's got himself into the lead in this race. But that 5-second penalty is going to be looming over him like a shadow. So he's going to have to try and open up that gap to over 5 seconds if he's going to make any advances in this race.
Well, he's doing exactly that at the moment. He is flying in that Ferrari. No problem at all for the moment. Darth is right behind LB, though, and looking to take the fight to the Red Bull. JB's there as well. Lawrence looking to get past the Williams as well. It's all happening. Can Darth make a move into turn 1? No, he has to back out of that one. But Lawrence down the inside. What a move. He's got it stopped. JB left in the room. Good respect between the two. And Lawrence up to P4 and going to be challenging Darth now as LB holds him up.
Oh, this is fantastic, isn't it, Ghost? It was 2 Ferraris hounding down LB. It's now the 2 Red Bulls sandwiching the Ferrari in the middle of them at the moment. This has been a fantastic battle, and, well, we've still got this round and 3 more of this, so we've got plenty more action between these 2 teams who have been putting on an absolute show. JB wants to get himself involved as well. He wants to get a bit of this racing action. Muhiti might get involved as well, purely because these guys are battling so hard amongst themselves. But LB is doing well to hold on at the moment. Darth does look like he's got the measure of LB at the moment, and I wonder how much clout there is to Darth saying he doesn't like wet races.
Yeah, indeed. But JB's still there for now, but struggling to keep up. Muhiti, though, he's almost within a second. He was 1.5 behind before this, but here comes LB, or Darth rather, on LB down the inside. Must have been a mistake for LB down the straight. They're going to go side by side into turn 1. Robsu's already 6 seconds ahead, but it doesn't matter. Lawrence could make it 3 wide as well. LB round the outside. Side by side through 1 and 2. LB is just about ahead. Fantastic racing. And now here comes Lawrence, just pushing the Ferrari through turn 2 as they come towards 4.
Yeah, the Ferrari's got to look ahead and behind him as well. Muhiti's now getting involved because these 2 are slowing up the guys behind. This is helping Robsu get that gap he needs. And Lawrence still pushing that Ferrari through as they make their way through turn 5 and up to 6 and 7. At the moment, LB is defending as hard as he can to make sure his teammate gets through. And, well, could we see it 3 wide down to turn 1 in these tricky conditions? Who knows? It's going to be a great battle. And, well, wet races, they can neutralise any action out on track, but certainly not today. We are having quite the little scrap for the rest of the places on the podium. And well, Robsu he's off. He's gone. He's in his own little world in the lead of this race. And well, any sort of spin, I suppose, will get him back involved in this mess. But we got 5 cars all within a second of one another, battling it out for P2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6.
It's brilliant stuff. It's a huge train. Robsu fastest lap, and here comes Lawrence now on Darth Nihilus. ERS is used. Lawrence has got a lot of straight line speed down this straight. Darth to the inside to defend. Lawrence round the outside. LB takes the racing line, and Darth just about there, and there's a bit of contact, but Darth survives for now. But I think LB had his right to take the line, and JB and Muhiti fighting as well further back, and they've lost out as a result, as Lawrence pushing Darth through again, but still no way through this Ferrari.
Yeah, Muhiti and JB, they've just dropped way back off it. They'll have their own little independent fight. Tia could get involved in this as well if this carries on, but I'm sure these two will catch back up with this fight that's going on. The Red Bulls are really giving the Ferrari a very hard time out there. This is a great little scrap between the 3 of them at the moment, and it's only going to keep going as long as they stay. A little mistake from LB coming through this corner here, and well, it could be an invitation for Darth at the moment. Does he send it in towards 10? No, it doesn't look like it, as they come down to 11 now, and along to Jun Sao. We're going to go once again, another little drag race all the way to the line between these 3. Who's going to get the better exit out of this corner? This corner is vital for the run down towards turn number 1, and Lawrence looks like he's got a great exit, and he's going to challenge now Darth Nihilus. They're going to go side by side. I've seen very, very horrible incidents happen here, but Lawrence slips his way up the inside of the Ferrari.
Brilliant stuff from Lawrence, and JB's looking to get involved as well. Darth isn't done yet. He goes to the outside. Lawrence defends to the inside. There's a bit of contact through turn 1, but both of them still alive on the track. JB just licking his lips, waiting for something to happen between these two great rivals, as Darth now to the inside up to turn 4. I don't think Lawrence was expecting it. Darth sends it down the inside for turn 4, and he's got the move back. Position gained again for Darth, and they still continue on. Clean, fantastic racing.
This is brilliant racing between these two. This is exactly what real-life Formula 1 is missing at the moment too. Oh, Lawrence, a little mistake through 7 there. That's going to cost him, but Darth has gone deep, and he had a little look as well, and he's all over the back of this Ferrari now. He's trying to find a way through, and Darth is trying to get past LB, and JB and Muhiti want to get involved as well. Tears now creeping up to the back of this. There's 6 cars all fighting amongst themselves in these wet conditions.
Oh, this is brilliant. Maniac Mango, unfortunately, was disconnected for a while, so he's well out of this, but it could have made a 7-car train for P2.
Here we go again!
13 seconds ahead, but here we go. It could be 3 wide into turn 1. Darth down the inside. Lawrence finds the inside as well. No, he doesn't. Darth cuts him off, but Lawrence now finds the inside. It's 3 wide into turn 1, and there's a bit of contact as they go. Darth is forced wide. They continue on. JB looking for something, and Muhiti there as well. They're still side by side. Darth down to P4, and Lawrence is somehow up to P2 as LB defends to the inside from Darth. 2 by 2 towards turn 4. Darth jumps to the inside, but he can't make the move, and JB round the outside of Muhiti as well.
Oh, and there's another little fight going on here as well. There's Tia and JB and Muhiti all going, but Muhiti getting a place up there as well, and well, it's all a big shuffle around now. Lawrence is in P2, LB P3. What an insane battle, and dives down to the inside. The Ferrari, they're side by side now, coming through turn number 9, and it is Darth all the way around the outside of LB. There's a little bit of contact as well, but Darth is not done yet.
Oh, what a move from Darth. LB was not expecting that. He might not be happy about it, but I don't think there was anything untoward there. It was just Darth found the gap and caught LB by surprise. Robsu sets another fastest lap. I think the track might be drying out, Sumo, which would help Darth even more. As LB now under pressure from Muhiti. JB's dropped way off. I don't know what happened to him, but Muhiti trying to put the pressure on the Red Bull. He can smell blood in the Aston Martin, but can't make a move into turn 1. Has to settle behind. But I mean, the gaps are back spread out again now. So I mean, we are curbed from even more excitement for now, but I mean, I'm sure there's going to be more to come, more twists and turns in this already insane race. We're only 16 laps in.
Yeah, LB must have been a little bit of a cork in the bottle there, which was the catalyst for all of this. And our poor Mango, he's been lapped, so that's his race over. That's a shame for him. He's wow, it's awful, isn't it, not being able to unlap yourself. I hope that's a feature in future F1 games, but I doubt it very much. But yes, Muhiti is now all over the back of LB. He might try and have a little bit of a go. Can he get himself into P4? We'll see. But it's Robsu, Lawrence, Darth, LB, Muhiti, then JB and Tyr, and Mango as well in P8. All making their way around this track. And well, it does look like it is drying up, actually. I think the clouds are starting to break apart. It's raining a little bit less out there. And well, this will be quite the... what's the word I'm looking for? This will be quite the realisation, I think. Anyone who's gone for a bit more of a dry, well, a bit more of a wet setup, as Lawrence sets the fastest lap of the race so far. Well, will they suffer under the dry conditions if they do come toward the end of the race? As LB, well, he's got his setup leaning towards dry, so he might find some pace if it does go to the more grippy conditions out there. But we're about halfway through the race right now, and well, it's still anyone's at the moment, really.
Yeah, I think the track is drying all the time, Sumo, because you're seeing the fastest lap being traded down the grid as they cross the line. So Robsu, I mean, he's 15 seconds ahead, but if he is running a wet setup, then he could struggle to keep that gap going as the race goes on. Of course, it's a very comfortable gap, but as soon as a safety car comes out, Robsu is going to have to, well, he's going to have to serve that 5 seconds anyway when he pits, but he'll be keen to avoid getting another 5-second penalty, that's for sure.
Yeah, he certainly will. And now Robsu's going fastest, so I expect to see those times tumbling as we continue to go along. But the main action on track, of course, is LB, Muhiti and JB now. With, I think my point was proven, Ghost. LB is a bit of a cork in a bottle here, and well, Muhiti's now going to try and find a way through. LB defending, goes to the middle of the track. Muhiti trying to decide where to go, decides not to make a move and instead try and get a better run through the center S's, which is a smart thing to do in the cockpit as well. But can he get himself ahead of LB? I don't think so. LB still just, you know, he may not have the best setup for the rain, but he's certainly got some straight line speed in that Red Bull.
Yeah, absolutely. It's proving a very difficult person to get past. But yeah, you can see 3.5 seconds to Darth. And Darth, by the way, nearly within a second of Lawrence now. So Darth clearly very fast on track at the moment. But I think Tyr at the moment is the fastest man on track. That's 2 laps in a row he set the fastest lap. So Tyr flying at the moment in his Mercedes, as Robsu still managing his 16-second gap. But he knows if a safety car comes out, that's back straight down to 0, and we've got a fight on our hands again. But well, there you go, another fastest lap. The track's definitely drying. The fastest lap is just going left, right and centre, up and down the grid at the moment, as Muhiti yet again gets a good exit, nearly bins it on the exit of the last corner. But here he comes, EOS deployed on behind LB, just keeping in that slipstream, but he can't quite make a move into turn 1. LB's just got too much straight line speed.
Yeah, he certainly does. He just can't get himself alongside the Red Bull to try and compromise his line at the moment. And, well, the dry setup's certainly helping LB. Darth is lingering on outside of a second of, well, on the inside or outside of a second from Lawrence at the minute, but obviously no DRS in these wet conditions. Tyr might find himself in amongst this fight if he can continue this consistent speed, and these three can battle a little bit more up ahead of them, so don't rule out the Mercedes at the moment. But it's quite the little fight that we've got going on, and well, we're more than thankful for it. Tier 2 always does offer up some great on-track action, and it's doing it once again.
Absolutely. Muhiti needs to hope for a big mistake from LB coming out the last corner. But JB's there as well, pushing the Aston Martin through, and Tyr is approaching pretty quickly, about a second a lap if he doesn't bin it at turn 10, which he nearly did there. But Yeah, it's all to play for between these guys, but LB under a huge amount of pressure, and he's going to be willing for it to dry out as soon as possible, because he's definitely not enjoying the twisty parts of the track at the moment.
No, he's not, and I think that's why Muhiti catches him so much through Jun Sao, because he's able to get himself on the power and get the car rotated that little bit easier than the Red Bull. But once the Red Bull gets up to full speed, then Muhiti loses out because his car's a bit more draggy, and that was a little bit of a squirrely moment coming through turn number 3 there as they all head down towards turn 4, starting off sector 2, of course. And well, still no change in this fight at the moment. They all remain incredibly close. Darth has crept ever closer to Lawrence, so this championship fight between two rivals could reignite here on lap 20 at the moment. We'll wait and see, but we're keeping an eye on all of the action. Hello, Scott. How is Tyr not DNF'd yet? Well, I don't know. I bigged him up, I cursed him, he spun and he ended up down the bottom, and he's somehow still holding on. But I'm sure if I speak positively of him again, Scott, that he'll end up meeting Barrier as Robsu once again setting the fastest lap.
Indeed he has. Muhiti still piling the pressure on LB, and yeah, now Lawrence under pressure from Darth as LB gets a poor exit out of the last corner. Muhiti side by side, down the inside goes the Aston Martin. LB, he just about leaves enough space. Mango's out the session again, unfortunately. Muhiti though, look at the straight line speed on LB. He gains so much on that straight, and Muhiti can't make a move even into turn 1. And he must be getting so frustrated in that cockpit, as you can tell. He nearly goes for a dive. Could leave him open for JB, but no, the Williams driver not quite close enough. But yeah, Muhiti is definitely losing a huge amount of time behind this Red Bull at the moment, but there's no way through against that kind of straight line speed.
No, there really isn't. And the F1 game giving me some awful camera angles at the moment. I'm trying to watch Muhiti and LB battle, not JBS Steve, who's lingering behind, but Tyr is still creeping up on them at the moment, getting himself ever closer to the back of that Aston Martin, just waiting for his opportunity to strike. And well, it's quite the little battle between the lot of them, and it's still raining at the moment, and it begs the question, doesn't it? When does the rain stop? Will the rain stop, and will we see slick tyres in this race?
Yeah, well, it's not a lot of time to go for the slick tyres. Only 14 laps left in this race, which sounds like a lot, but with laps that are only a minute 20 long in the wet, it's not that much. As again, Muhiti gets that incredible exit on the last corner, but he just doesn't have the straight line speed. Once they've got the power down, LB is gone. There's no way through for the Aston Martin. Fastest lap for Darth Nihilus, by the way. So Lawrence under a huge amount of pressure for P2 as well. That could be important in terms of the championship, as here comes Darth round the outside for turn 4 on the Red Bull. Lawrence down the inside. He keeps it together, but Darth with the switchback and makes the move stick. Darth up into P2. Nothing Lawrence could do about it. He sent it down the inside, but got a bit wide, and Darth just cut back on him, which is not easy to do in these conditions at all. And Darth up to P2, the championship leader. Well, he's taken no prisoners today.
No, he certainly hasn't, and well, yeah, I still do not believe Darth is struggling in wet races, because he's racing as he normally would out there on the circuit. You know, he's got a bit of a ruthless efficiency about him, doesn't he, when he's overtaking other drivers? But he's certainly not struggling as much as he lets on. But I mean, well, setup could be a big factor in this, and well, Lawrence certainly isn't out of this yet. And if it does dry up, he may come and swing with a bit more advantage. I think Red Bull might be a bit more set up for dry than the Ferrari duo.
Yeah, quite possibly. Definitely in terms of Robsu, I think he's definitely set up for the wet. As LB goes wide at turn 1, but again, no way through for Muhiti. He tried to send it at the inside of 2, but realised that was a bad idea. Nearly bins it on exit. JB's there. Tyr is now there as well in this train. So it's a 4-car train for P4. LB, like you say, huge bottleneck at the moment. No one can get past him, but he loses so much time as Tyr into the wall. Too much power at turn 4, and there you go. The predictions come true. No end plate on that Mercedes. He's going to have to come in, and that's a huge shame.
There you go, Scott, and I didn't even have to talk positively of him either. He did that all by himself this time, and we still give Tia a hard time in the comms box. Oh dear. And yeah, I want to point out that was nearly absolute calamity between Darth and Lawrence there. You see how close they were to locking wheels? Because I certainly did.
Yeah, very, very close indeed. And I think Darth is perhaps still reeling from what happened at turn 2 a while ago between him and Lawrence. Maybe he feels it was Lawrence's fault. Lawrence
has gone on the curb and he's in the wall!
Oh no, Lawrence!
Safety car!
And we have a safety car as well. Can he keep ahead of LB? Yes, he can. Tear into the pits for a new front wing, so he'll be happy about this. But Robsu, well, I mean, he's got to pit. He's got no other choice. He's going to have to, because otherwise that 5-second penalty is going to bite. And those inters have got to be starting to struggle maybe at this point. I wonder if the others are going to pit as well. That's the question. Whether Darth, Lawrence, etc. all pit. Well, Lawrence has to. He's got no front wing. So it's about the others. And LB's going to be massively disadvantaged by this because of the double stack for Red Bull. So, yeah, a lot of interesting things to happen here. Robsu into the pits. He's going to serve that 5-second penalty. But the question is, does Darth come in or does he stay out and lead the race? Will he lead the race? I don't think he will, actually. I think it'll be close. But 22-second gap under safety car Delta, it will be close. No, he's into the pits for fresh inters, as will everyone else be. But LB is going to lose out massively here. He's going to lose 2 positions.
Oh, will Mango get to unlap himself? I think he will.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be close.
Come on, Mango, unlap yourself. Come on.
Come on.
No, come on, Mango. No. It's so close. It's the carrot dangling in front of him. Oh, Crows is in, everyone. Hello. I think the game's going to do him over it. Yeah, that is such... I really feel for him there. That really hurts.
You hate to see it. You really do. Well... Tears back in the race at least, and LB Sumo, LB stayed out. 16 lap hold inters. He's going to use that straight line speed that we know he's got to keep Darth behind, or at least that's going to be the plan. And Darth has got more problems ahead of him now. He would have thought, well, finally got past Lawrence. That's P2 secured, and then he sees a Red Bull fly past the pit lane and thinks, oh, not again. But Robsu now 1 penalty down. He's got a lap car as well between him and LB, so he shouldn't be challenged by LB at the restart. Robsu, I mean, it's his race to lose, Sumo, at this point. And what a story that is. From the back of the grid, made an incredible start, and as far as I saw, was clean in all of his moves. And he finds himself in a comfortable first place.
Yeah, well, apparently we've got a new clip for me, a new highlight for commentary moment of the year. As Lawrence is he in the pits again? No, LB, he came in. He's come in.
Oh, he's come in.
Has it stopped raining? No, it's still. Is he? New inters. It's inters. Oh, I was going to say that would have been. Oh, that would have been a big, bold call, but I think he was just trying to avoid that double stack there, I suppose, of coming in. But I think would he have lost out more? Possibly.
He might have lost him out to Tier. Look at Tier coming through turn 2.
Here he comes.
Going to be tight. I think LB's just ahead, but it's going to be close. No, Tier's ahead, so LB loses position to Tier. He should have just double stacked.
Yeah, he should have just done it. Oh dear, that could be bad for the Red Bull duo. We'll wait and see, but let's catch up with the live bouts here. He is the one, of course, who says that's a Sumo clip. I'm sure it is. I honestly thought Lawrence was out of this race. I honestly thought he was going to have been it, but no, he's avoided the incident just about. Which happened last season, which, if you remember, was at Baku. That was quite the dramatic turn of events. But hello, Lifebelt. Welcome, welcome, welcome. He says he remembers what happened at a wet race in Brazil. Could go both ways. He says LB's not on a good strategy, although that has changed in the time between that. But Lifebelt said LB isn't finishing. I think he might do now, but we're going to go back under green flag conditions at the moment. And, well, Robsu leads us off under the green flag. We're waiting for him to lead us away. And, well, we've got 11 laps left, or 10 laps, I suppose, as we go on. So, wow, what is going to happen? Let's see. Yeah, Lifebound, never mind, of course. It's all changed in that time. So you called it too early. You counted your chickens too quickly. But here we go then. Where's Robsu going to go? There he goes. He's gone, and the McLaren will do his best to get out of the way, I hope. And JB looks like he's got a decent restart, but so does Tier and Lawrence just behind as well. Lawrence, is he going to get 2 places in one corner? Oh, this is a great little shot down the inside, but he's got Tier. Can he get around the outside of that Aston Martin? No, not quite, and Tier's going to come back at him. So Tier gets the place back as well.
Oh my goodness me, how on earth has he kept that out of the wall? Huge moment on the exit of 2. Lawrence had a moment as well, but not as big as Darth. He somehow kept it out of the wall, but he's back behind Lawrence, and now JB's putting the pressure on as this train is back. Robsu leading again by over a second already. He's running away with it again, but this train...
there goes Tier!
Tier spins it out of turn 6, and now LB's back through as he puts the pressure on Muhiti as well. Maniac Mango, oh well, he's lapped, so no bother with him, unfortunately. But wow, what a restart.
Yeah, what a restart. I think I was doing a Crofty there, Ghost, because I was looking at LB, not Lawrence, at the back of the grid at the moment. But we'll move on from that. But we've got quite the scrap. Robsu is struggling a little bit. He's closed. That gap's closed up again. And it looks like Lawrence is catching the Ferrari 4 at the time being. And, well, he's got some pace on that thing. Yeah, what's happening with Robsu? He's very, very slow along this straight.
Maybe he's backing Lawrence into Darth, Sumo. It could be the case, but it did seem strange how slow he was on that straight. I'm just going to keep an eye on his throttle inputs down this straight now. It seems fairly normal, so yeah, I'm not sure what happened there.
No, maybe it's just straight line speed on the Red Bull at the moment, but Darth, well, this battle has sort of inversed, I suppose. The 2 Ferraris now sandwiching the lone Red Bull, and LB will want to get himself in amongst this fight at the moment, but can he do that? With the laps remaining, it's still raining, and I don't see this race going on to slick tyres, so we're going to finish on the inters, it seems. But it's Robsu and Lawrence and Darth all fighting it out toward the top. JB and Muhiti are involved in this as well. How quickly can LB get himself on the back of this train? And, well, I'm surprised Tier didn't get himself a penalty for that corner cut. That was the slickest corner cut I've ever seen.
Yeah, he got away with that one. But he's right on the back of LB. LB really struggling. It's still in these conditions, but again, the straight line speed is going to make it really difficult for Tier to overtake. That's going to make it even more difficult, a moment like that on the last corner. But yeah, the gap's opening up a little bit now, but Robsu's still under pressure from Lawrence. That's the fastest lap for now, a 16.6. It's definitely getting drier. The fastest lap was an 18 not so long ago. So I wonder if we're going to be on slick soon. We've got only 8 laps to go in this race. Anything can still happen. I mean, anyone can win, well, apart from Mango, sadly.
Yeah, apart from Mango, poor Mango, way down there. That was tragic to watch. But again, Robsu, he's struggling in sectors 1 and 2, well, 1 and 3, I suppose. He's not got it's just a straight line speed, I think. He gains all the time in sector 2, but he loses it all unless he's backing off. I just don't know what is happening with this Ferrari.
It's really strange, isn't it? And Muhiti with a 3-second time penalty for track limits. How costly is that going to be with everyone so close together? But yeah, Robsu, it's a bit of an enigma at the moment. He seems clear and away at the restart, but not so at this point. And of course, well, remember, we've got the incident between Lawrence and Darth to look at later on. I'm sure that'll be in the stewards, the incident at turn 2. But yeah, look at the straight line speed from Lawrence compared to Robsu. Robsu's just got nothing on this straight. I think it could be ERS usage, Sumo, because Robsu has 40% more than Lawrence. But yeah, it's a difficult one to explain. Darth still just about there, but he seems to be struggling now in these conditions on the fresh inters. He seems to be struggling more than on the worn ones.
Yeah, he does, and that could see him in the clutches of JB, and, well, any mistake from Darth, he could lose out on a podium here. That Williams is looking set for a podium here this evening, but we'll wait and see what happens. We've still got plenty more racing to go. We're on lap number 30 of 36, and we've still got battles going on this wet track.
We certainly do. LB, I mean, he's way, way down now. That dry setup clearly really hurting him at this point in the race, even with it getting a little bit less damp out there on track, as Darth goes very deep there into turn 8, and JB gains a bit of time, but Darth seems to be making a lot of mistakes out there at the moment. He's got the pace, but he just doesn't have the consistency, which he's, well, I mean, he was famous for last season. This season, not so much.
No, I think it's been, well, Darth sort of came out of nowhere last season, didn't he, to take the title, and then this season he's had a lot more pressure on him, but here comes Muhiti looking to the outside of JB. They're going to go side by side into turn 1, but JB's going to cover him off on the inside and take the shorter line through, keep that Aston Martin at bay.
Darth nearly bins it! Nearly bins it! And he's lost the position to JB. Again, the same corner that he nearly binned at the restart, and now side by side with Muhiti into turn 4.
Tears off the circuit!
Here off as well, further back, Muhiti sends it round the outside, keeps the car there. They're going to go side by side up the hill, but Darth is going to hold on to the position. But how many more mistakes is this Ferrari going to make?
Oh, I'm not sure, but that's really cost him there, and JB, he'll be happy with that. All he's got to do is keep it straight, keep it in between the white lines, and he'll find himself on the podium. That'll be nice to see a car that's not a Ferrari or a Red Bull on the podium for once. Somebody else to interview after the race, but we'll wait and see. We've still got plenty of time at the moment. Muhiti now putting the pressure on Darth Hillers. He's got a penalty though, Ghost. What has he got? Let's see. It's 3 seconds.
Yeah, it was track limits a few laps ago. So Muhiti, that could really cost him, and at the moment it's going to cost him the position to LB as well, who's caught back up. Maybe it's because the track is drying. I mean, you can see by the fastest laps that the track is drying. Here comes Muhiti down the straight. He looks to send it into turn 1, but just does it to scare Darth a little bit. Is there going to be another mistake through turn 2 for the Ferrari driver? Not yet, but he binned it at about this point at the restart, but no, he's just about made it through this time. But, I mean, that Ferrari looks just so unstable at the moment.
Yeah, it does. I'm not sure. Maybe he struggles in these wet conditions. Who knows really what's going on with Darth at the moment? But he's just not having the. He doesn't look as all put together as he normally is out on the racetrack, or certainly not as much as he's been at the moment. Lifebout thinks Robsu's running higher wings, which is what we think as well. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and Lawrence has really been pushing as well. He's used a lot of ERS. The difference is 84 to 40 at the moment. So Robsu's just managing it, and I think, well, barring any mistakes, he's got this one in the bag. But speaking of mistakes, we're watching Darth at the moment. He's still got Muhiti on him as well. LB, he'll be gutted really with the way the session's gone, with the wet weather and the wrong sort of setup. We've got 11 people now watching. If you've just joined us, we're toward the end of this race. Darth has bottled it and found himself off the podium. Can he get himself back on? Robsu has controlled this race from the beginning, more or less. Well, from at least the early pit stops as well, coming from the back of the grid. But if you are watching, you've not left a like on the stream, do so now. We've had a great season of Tier 2 and we've still got a lot more. Thank you, Rick. Yes, like the stream. Like the stream, shout it out there in the chat at the moment. But yes, we've had a fantastic race here, and we've still got 4 laps to go.
Certainly do. And remember, Darth might be thinking that Lawrence is going to get a penalty, because remember the contact between them at turn 2 on lap 1. I mean, again, I don't know who was at fault for that. I'm interested to hear Lawrence's point of view in interviews, assuming he makes it onto the podium. But yeah, Darth might be thinking about that in the back of his head. He can see what the gap to Lawrence is, and it is currently less than 5 seconds, so who knows. But yeah, at the moment, Darth, he seems to have found his rhythm again. He's making fewer mistakes, but we'll see if that continues. Still 3 laps to go at the end of this one, and JB is going to be desperately trying to hold on to that podium. He may not be fighting for the drivers or the constructors title, but a podium, I mean, it's a lot to fight for. So JB's definitely not going to let Darth go, as Darth has the fastest lap out there, so he's really gotten back into his groove. But I seem to remember last season around Brazil, Sumo, when Darth and JB were also fighting, and Darth absolutely sent it at turn 8, and JB kind of just let him go because he didn't want to be responsible for something that changes the course of the championship. So, but I don't think we're going to see the same again today.
No, I don't think so at all. And, well, Krauser is fighting for something. He's fighting for best of the rest amongst the, well, not Krauser, sorry, JB is fighting for best of the rest amongst, amongst the drivers and for the constructors as well. Williams sit P3, and with Bergen out of the race, well, it's Williams' day, really. They're going to gain some valid points. There's 2 points between the two teams at the moment, so they're going to get themselves up. Maniac will get himself ahead of AlphaTauri as well, so there'll be a shift there for best of the rest at the moment. So lots of fighting and squabbling going on as well, and the representatives of AlphaTauri, Williams, McLaren, Mercedes, and Aston Martin, it's very close. There's 5 teams fighting out in the midfield, which is great stuff.
Sumo, I can see the sun through the clouds. It's too late for it to be slicks, but I can see the sun through the clouds. And LB, just to prove that the track is drying up, Darth with a 3-second time penalty at turn 2. He's breached track limits on lap 35 of 36. He's going to be absolutely kicking himself for that. But you can tell by LB setting the fastest lap, because we've been saying all along he's running a dry setup. So you can tell if he's setting the fastest lap, the track is drying up. So LB, our guinea pig for how well the track is drying, and that extra point could be critical as well, as Darth gets himself a time penalty, and JB is going to feel all the more confident. And if there's another mistake from Darth, then Muhiti, doesn't matter about his penalty, will be ahead. And don't forget about LB, he's less than 3 seconds behind Darth too.
Yeah, he is, and he could clean up here and find himself in P4 as long as he stays within. And if the track's dried up, it's also stopped raining, goes. There's no more spits of rain on the screen.
Muhiti!
Oh!
Muhiti's binned it! He's round, he's still in the race, but he's going to lose out on a potential position. Down to P6 he goes. I mean, with the penalty, it's where he would have finished anyway, but he's still going to be gutted to lose it there. Robsu now setting the fastest lap. LB coming across the line. He doesn't set it this time. So it's a battle for fastest lap at the moment between everyone on the grid. Anyone could get it. As kudos to Mango, to be honest. As Darth nearly bins it at turn 2 again.
He's round.
He does indeed. And that 3-second time penalty, it brings LB well within 3 seconds now. So LB just has to get to the end, and he'll finish ahead of Darth after penalties. I mean, how many times has Darth lost it at turn 2 now? It's been so many times. And he's going to be really, really frustrated with himself after this, as Mango has binned it out, coming out of the pit lane. He'll still be classified. He went for the softs to try and get fastest lap. Fair enough.
He's done a Yuki Tsunoda there. He's gone straight on, didn't he? Darth did not learn from his mistakes, says Lifebound. No, indeed. But, well, some would call it skill, some would call it luck. Darth has certainly been a very, very lucky man today, but a skillful man out there on the track, as Robsu is coming down to the line for the final time this evening from the back of the grid. Robsu is your winner for the Brazilian Grand Prix, takes the fastest lap for now. Lawrence doesn't manage to do it, but he comes on P2. Then JB getting on the podium. Well done to the Williams driver. Darth will drop down to P5 as LB gets himself into P number 4. So the championship is certainly back on Rick at the moment, and Muhiti managing to finish after his spins, and we just wait for Tyr, who's lamenting down in P7. But he'll make his way around the track to round off your grid.
He's got an opportunity to set fastest lap, Sumo. Don't forget, the track's been drying, and he's on only 4-lap-old inters because he pitted after his damage. So Tyr could be on for fastest lap, but he's a 10th down through Sector 2, so maybe not. He's going to use all his ERS out the final corner, down towards the line. As is it going to be a final twist? I mean, it would be just befitting of this race. Can he set the fastest lap and rip it away from Robsu? No, he can't.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know what it is about about Brazil Ghost, but the last 2 times I've been here have been absolute phenomenal drives. We had ESRL's Division 2 finale, and we've now had round number 6 of Tier 2 at APPF1, and it's been amazing. Let's head over to the interview chat for some interviews as we get our podium celebrations underway. Sorry to blue screen, everybody. I do say this every time. You should expect it by now. But let's get over there. We're going to hear from some drivers, and well, we'll hear from JB for. I think. Let's get ourselves in. Hello, everybody, again watching. If you've just joined us, well, you've missed everything. You've missed all the action. Where have you been? But
hello,
it's Robsu on the chat. Hello, Ghost. The Finnish man has he's finished in first, Ghost, and he's done an absolutely fantastic job out there.
Sorry, who was that? Sumo, was that JB?
JB? No, it was Robsu. But
yeah.
Unless JB has changed nationalities in the last couple of minutes. But we'll run you through the finishing order. Then Robsu is your man on the top step of the podium, and he's flanked by Lawrence and JB, and he's going to come home with the fastest lap to boot as well. So an extra point for Robsu. Then LB in P4 after gaining a place to Daphne Hillis, who's got himself that time penalty to contend with after his race. He won't be too happy with himself there. Muhiti in P6, then Tier rounds off the finishers with Maniac Mango classified after his crash out of the pit lane, and Bergen rounding off the rest of the grid as he did not finish. He retired early on in the race. But wow, Maniac Mango had 6 pit stops, by the way. But yes, wow, what a... Well, I think we already know who our driver of the day is, Ghost. So I'll just, we'll just, I don't think I really have to say much about that one. But wow, we've got some interviews, and I think we've got everybody in the party now. So I think everybody's audio is set up to be able to be heard. And well, we'll start with Robsu. Robsu, you had a qualifying ban, and you didn't get yourself. Well, didn't set you up for. Well, you weren't in the best place to start the race, let's say, but you were certainly able to, get yourself ready for what has been a grueling and challenging race. And actually, for you, it was quite a lonely one. But run us through it. You've gone from P9 to P1.
Oh yeah, I don't know even where to start. Well, like you said, it was a bit of a lonely one, but well, I had a good start. After that, I just kept it clean, tried to concentrate on these tricky conditions. Then the safety car. No, there was a safety car at this point, but yeah. Then those interns they were very, very great, and after that it was just basically managing and clean air and everything, all that. And I think I benefited a lot from those battles behind my back. But yeah, setup was very, very, very good. I had bit high wings, so I knew that the sector 1 and the sector 3 are gonna be hard ones, and well, it was. But yeah, overall it was a great race.
Well, yeah, it certainly was. You went from last on the grid to first on the grid, and well, were you prepping a setup? Were you mindful of the wet race coming? Because you seemed like you had the car put together, probably one of the more put together drivers out there. Really, I don't think I saw any mistakes from you, Rob Sui.
Oh yeah, well actually, the setup I haven't even tested on wet, I think. So it turned out to be very, very, very good, but it was all just trying to stay calm and keep it on the track, and basically like that. But I also like this track very, very much, so I think that counts as well.
I mean, that certainly does help. You're able to keep it on the track, and well, it's no mean feat driving these Formula One cars in the wet weather at the moment. But yeah, you mentioned that the battles behind they kept you in it, and well, you had that 5 second penalty as well. Just a lapse of concentration coming into the pits.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Oh, sorry. You had you had that 5 second penalty you had
Yeah.
to contend with as well. You just a little bit of lapse of concentration coming in. Wet weather, sort of offering your braking points down there.
Well, yeah, that 5 seconds was it was a bit of a managing with. It was a bit tricky, but I don't know. I was so comfortable, and I just thought if I try well, concentrate well, I think I'll get it. I think I get away with it if that's what I can say, kind of. So it didn't. Let's just say it didn't bother me the 5 seconds.
No, I mean, well, you certainly didn't lose too much time once the safety car came out for the second time. But yeah, it was a great race for you out there, Rob. So you had you had the measure in terms of the strategy. You came out way ahead of your rivals who all decided to battle. You did a great job keeping the Red Bulls behind, who clearly had a lot more straight line speed, and well, you've certainly earned a driver of the day from Ghost and I. So well done for the win today, well done for driver of the day, and well, hopefully we can see you on the top step even more.
I hope so.
Alright, well, I'll hand over to Ghost to talk to Lawrence.
Well, Lawrence, that was a pretty crazy race from our perspective. Talk us through it from yours.
Crazy race. I thought it was quite well, yeah, it was pretty nuts. Yeah, Brazil's always going to be close. It's just one of those tracks you can see by qualifying just how tight the field was going to be. We was all taken by the full wet conditions at the start because our forecast was saying it was going to be, well, it looked like just inters at the start that it was going to dry out pretty quickly, but I don't know if that's a bug or what. But yeah, so I got a good start. Yeah, it was a hard race given the conditions.
Yeah, well, certainly a tricky one, and it was largely a race for you that was defined with your battles with Darth Nihilus. I mean, we saw at turn, I can't remember where it was, where he passed you late on. What happened there? Was it a mistake on your part? Because he seemed to get past fairly straightforwardly at the time.
So I think it was just at the end of like the first DRS straight. I think it was. I think I went deep. Just trying to think of the corner number I went to. Like the fourth turn, left-hand turn at the end of sector one. I ran deep a little bit, and I was quite surprised at the pace he came through, but tried to give him as much space as I could, so just let him through. Still managed to hit me somehow.
Well, yeah, I'd say it was a beautiful cutback from him from our perspective.
Yeah. It was a good move. I was just surprised he got so close.
Yeah, a little wheel bang, but it's the wet conditions. But there was also a bit of contact between you on lap one at turn two. We weren't quite sure what happened in the commentary box. I wonder if you could tell us more about that, or I mean, you're free to say no comment.
I just looked at to me, it was race instant. There's nowhere I could go, nowhere he could go by the looks of it. It's just one of those unfortunate things.
All right. Well, I mean, fantastic race from you today. A well-deserved second place, and Rob's who just a step too far today, but I think he deserves. Well, it's his first win in APPF1. Yeah, congratulations to you, Lawrence. Great podium for you and good step forward in the championship.
Yeah, congratulations to Rob too. It's always good to get your first win under your belt, so sure it'll be the first of many for him, and also a shout out to JB, who's coming up next.
Yeah, well done, Lawrence, and I will hand over to Sumo to interview probably the most, well, popular amongst the crowd podium sitter today.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, JB's no stranger to the podium, but it's nice to see him back on it. Well, it was a great qualifying from you, JB. Then it wasn't looking like much of a good race going forward, but with battles up and down the grid, time penalties, other incidents as well, you found yourself in P3 this evening. Run us through your race for us.
Yeah, kind of a bit of a return to form, really. Not been on the podium in a while, I don't think. But yeah, no, qualifying went pretty well. I improved quite a bit from the Tier 1 when I reserved there. I think like nearly a second I improved, so I was pretty pleased with that. But then when I saw the rain come for the race, I knew I always seem to have problems starting. I always seem to get bogged down compared to in the dry. And then I think a McLaren or something like that hit me at the start, bearing through the NRS, and I had wing damage. So I had to pit from that. That put me at the back, but I think apart from one or two others. And then it was just in the sense of being consistent, making up places where others were having like issues, like spins. I think there was a couple of cars that spun in front of me. Darth, I was catching back up to him. There was a couple of trains throughout the race, but when I was behind Darth, he just as he was turning around out of the centre S's, the left-hander, he slightly lost it, and I was able to pass him there, and then just keep ahead from there towards the end. So, yeah, pretty eventful.
Eventful's the least of it. I'm sure you'll watch the race back later, but we had a cracking time in the booth. But it must have been a lot of fun in amongst the middle of that fight there. You was watching both the Red Bulls fight away with Darth, and well, we were expecting some crashes, some bigger place gains during that time. You and Mahiti and Tia are all duking it out as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't know. I knew there was going to be some hard racing between them all, so I thought, if something's going to happen, then I want to just be ready to pounce on it, but at the same time I don't want to get caught up in it. And then, yeah, like you say, with like LB as well, we had the train going with LB, Mahiti, myself, and at one point Tia as well, so it was kind of managing that. Me and Mahiti had a few exchanges, which was quite nice. And then, yeah.
Yeah, it was certainly a very, very exciting race, and well, Williams are P3 in the constructors at the moment. I mean, it's not for the top of the constructors, which I'm sure you'd like to be in, but you know, is that your goal, you and Krauser? Is it best of the rest for the pair of you?
Yeah, that's what we're kind of like looking at, because of course Krauser missed a day through like connection. I missed last week, so it's kind of like if we can keep third position up. Also with the pace of like Lawrence and LB, usually they're up there with Darth and Robsu. So when we can pick up the podiums here and there, that's the idea, and then just finish the best of the rest and see if we can get third position in the constructors.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you're happy with the podium after the controversial safety car that was Monza. But
yes,
yeah, it was a great race for you out there, JB. Great qualifying, and you deserve that podium this evening. So a big well done, and hopefully we'll see you on the podium in the future.
Yeah, thanks guys, and congrats to Robsu as well on the win, and Lawrence on the podium.
There we go. That's it. That's your tier 2. We've done driver of the day. It was Robsu as well, so he gets his first racer in. He gets driver of the day as well. So it's been a phenomenal evening of racing, Ghost, and I'm exhausted now. That was, again, you know, one of the best Brazil races I've ever had the pleasure of witnessing.
9 drivers, no problem at all. What a race that was. Really enjoyed it, and I have to agree with you. It was an incredible race around an incredible track, which just always seems to give us these amazing races. And well, talking of incredible tracks, you know what's next week, Sumo?
Is it Monaco? I want to say it's
Monaco. Monaco next week. So that is going to be all about consistency. Who can keep the car out of the wall and who can get the best qualifying lap in. I'm sure a lot of drivers are going to be practicing a lot for next week, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be... this is going to be one of the... I don't know, it could go one of two ways, really, couldn't it? I have seen good races at Monaco, I've seen bad races at Monaco, so it's, you know, it will go either way, but it'll be the drivers who can keep it out of the wall, keep it consistent, and well, I think qualifying, this is going to be the most important qualifying of the season, which it's Monaco. It's always the most important qualifying of the season, and quite frankly, it's the most interesting part of the weekend. But we won't go into that topic because we've got to round off this race, Ghost. But so if there's anything else for you to add, Ghost?
I don't think so, apart from justice for Finland after Eurovision.
Yes, yes, for sure. I didn't watch Eurovision, but I'm sure your point is it's correct. Anyway, that's going to be it then this evening. So join us again at 7:30 once again for round number 7 of Tier 2 Season 7 here at APPF1. It'll be Ghost and myself once again bringing you all of the racing action as we hit the streets of Monaco. Rather fittingly, as it'll be just after the real life Monaco Grand Prix. Yes, I am right. So yes, hopefully that one won't get rained off, and a big all the support to those in Imola at the moment, actually, and all the horrible damage that the rains have caused, and hopefully it can all be cleared up soon. We did dearly miss the Imola Grand Prix, but I'll stop rambling on and wrap things up. So I have been Sumo.
I have been Ghost.
And this has been APPF1, and we wish you a very, very, very good night.